Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and I'm the owner, creator, and coach for Believe in Better Finances. So for today's video topic, I wanted to share with you guys, the viewers watching, 5 ways in which we save large portions of our income. And when I say our income, that's my husband and I. So that being said, all of these things that I'm about to share with you guys are definitely things that you're able to do yourself. As they are just in general good financial tips, but definitely things that attribute to us saving big chunks of our income that we bring in every year. So the first thing is going to be avoiding upgrading your lifestyle. So this can be a really hard one, especially I think as in the American culture where so many people go, oh, I'm making more money, I'm going to go out and spend it on XYZ. And that's something that my husband and I typically hardly if often ever do, is we have found kind of our range of income that we need to live off of comfortably. And since then, anything that we've had coming in income-wise has gone towards more important things, such as an example, here recently I was very fortunate enough to receive a promotion. It wasn't a title change, but it was a monetary increase, a significant chunk. I was taking on 2 direct reports in different territories, and so because of me having to take on that added responsibility, a monetary increase came as a result. So that was great news as far as taking on more responsibility, as well as the added bonus of the incentive. Some people may look at that as going, oh, you didn't get a promotion and title. Title to me, I really don't care. I'm just happy to have the pay increase, as well as the responsibility to help me grow professionally and things like that. So that could have easily, I could have looked at that and gone, oh my goodness, here's a chunk of money. I'm going to go, upgrade to a better car or completely redo my wardrobe or something like that. But for us, whenever we receive, whether it's a promotion, an annual bonus if we get one like that, or just annual raises, things like that a lot of people get, we don't blow that. We don't go out and go crazy and upgrade our lifestyle. So in my recent case, with the chunk increase that I got with my income, what we talked about, again, we sat down together, talked about how we're going to spend this increase in pay. And so what I decided was I wanted to bump up my retirement contributions to 25% into my Roth 401k. So that's not including what my company includes, but I definitely wanted to bump that up. Now, some people, you may go, why so much? The standard is 10 to 15% savings towards retirement. But for us, one of our big long-term goals is to actually retire in our middle 50s. We want to be able to, whether or not we actually do retire in our middle 50s, we want to be able to hit that goal of having the option to retire. We may want to buy a property, a second home, and go move to it. We may want to just do a lot of traveling. So we're planning now in our early 30s and was in our 20s to hit that goal of being able to retire early on in life while we're still physically able to enjoy it. So for us, bumping up our retirement contributions is something that's a really big priority. So by not overinflating our lifestyle, we're able to take any extra income that we get and put that towards either retirement or overall savings goals. I have 2 other jobs that I do, not because I need the money, but because, again, as a realtor and as a pet sitter, those are 2 additional things that I can do outside of my credit union job that I can make income, and that just helps goes to our overall goals that I mentioned before. Whereas some other people may look at that as, cha-ching, I've got extra money, I'm going to go do this or that. And again, we just choose to keep our lifestyle at a balanced level where we're comfortable and happy and still can do some things, but we can also definitely hit our savings goals, which is just as exciting once you start seeing it grow. So that's the first thing, is avoid upgrading your lifestyle anytime you get additional income, whether it's through a part-time job, through promotion, annual raises, incentives, anything like that. Take that money and do something productive with it that you're going to look on long ways down the road and be proud that you spent the money that way. The second thing is, don't be trendy. Now, this one again doesn't sound very fun, and I will say that my husband and I are definitely not trendsetters or up with the trendy things. And what I mean by that is, an example, I remember when the iPhone 6 or iPhone 6s was coming out, everybody at my job was talking about who's going to get the new iPhone. And eventually I got the iPhone 6, and as I think last year, my contract basically allowed me to upgrade phones. But like I tell people, just because my contract says that I'm allowed to upgrade a phone there's still going to be added cost to do that. I'm going to have to get one of those screen protector shields, and to get the good one that costs money. To get a good phone case or a new charger or anything like that, if I were to switch up the phones that I have, it's going to cost extra money. So that's just one example of a trendy thing that happens all the time, where people go bonkers and they want to take their extra income and go upgrade to be a trendsetter because that's the new hot thing. I remember when the Apple iWatch came out, I don't know much about it, but I remember a lot of people were going crazy about that. Whenever the TVs, the curved TVs came out, I'm going, to me, it's just a TV. I don't care if it curves, if it's, flat, big, whatever. I just want something I can watch television on, and I don't want to waste a lot of money on a TV. So again, trends can really get people into trouble, because oftentimes the trends that come cause consumer spending, and big consumer spending. It could be something as small as you guys out there watching, any females watching. If you're like me, I love watching beauty videos, buying the latest makeup, but that can be very expensive. So, find makeup that you like. It doesn't have to be name brand at Sephora. It can be at the grocery store. Honestly, sometimes I bought stuff that's store-bought makeup versus like the name brand makeup, and I can't tell a difference in the mascara, the way it makes my eyelashes look. So again, a lot of that's just trendy. It's getting you to buy and overspend on things, and that can be the same thing for anything, clothing, whatever. Again, you look at me, oftentimes I'm in jeans, t-shirt, and tennis shoes. I want to be comfy. But yeah, I do every once in a while dress up, but I don't spend my entire income on having the latest trend in clothes, because again, that can get very, very expensive very quickly, and there goes your ability to save up large portions of your income. The third way that we're able to save large portions of our income is, how do I explain it? Maybe fear or impulse buying decisions. So when I say impulse buying decisions, that could be you go out to a store, you see an item there on the shelf, and you're like, ooh, I've got to have it. And really that's the hardest part, because I think a lot of people, when you go to the stores, you impulse buy so many things. That's why I stay out of those stores like Target and Walmart, places where you can get everything from a shirt to a garden hose to some eggs. I go crazy in places like that. And it's not to say that I don't shop there, because I do love Target and I do love going to Walmart and getting things as I need them. But I know some people where it's their weekly routine to go to Target and get their Starbucks latte and go up the store and buy off the clearance rack, and then they're going, I got a good deal because it's clearance items, but they just bought the entire clearance department in Target and they spent a couple $100s. Well, if you do that every single week, it's going to be near impossible for you to be able to save large portions of your income when you're just letting it go out the door all the time on buying things. So impulse buys can really get you. A tip that I have for you guys out there watching, something that my husband and I do, is we have kind of a set dollar amount. So if either one of us are going to spend over $100, say $200, then what we usually do is we consult one another. Whether it's picking up the phone going, hey, I'm thinking about buying this $200 X. What we'll do is we'll talk about it and make sure it's something that we're both in agreement with, and then if that's the case, we'll go get it. Another thing is our 24-hour rule. So with the 24-hour rule, what we do is, if it's something we're really wanting to get, and again, it's a pricier item, even if it's not a pricier item, if we're not quite sure, we always say, let's sleep on it. Let's give it the 24-hour rule where we can sleep on it, wake up the next day, and still to see if it's something that we truly need, or if it's more of a want type thing, or maybe it was something we truly wanted, but now that we've thought about it and we've slept on it, we're like, we probably wouldn't use it, or I wouldn't, I don't want to spend my money that way after all. So the 24-hour rule is always a good one, and having a spending limit between couples is helpful too. And when I say spending limit, it's not something to keep you from ever being able to buy things. It's just, if it's over a certain dollar amount, whatever your income is and what you're comfortable with, figure what that is, and just have that open communication on, hey, I'm going to keep you accountable, but I want you to keep me accountable as well, so we don't just go and blow our income. The fourth thing that we do as ways we save income is through being financially literate. And that's something that's so important that I think a lot of people don't take the time to do. And when you look at how hard we as Americans work to make an income for our families, we spend so many hours commuting to and from work, at work. We spend more time with our colleagues oftentimes than we do our actual families. And so when it comes to stuff like that, that's where I look at it is, I want to be educated on how money works. If I don't understand something, and even as a financial guru. There are still things today that I'm still learning and educating myself on. A lot of things when it comes to retirement and how to invest, that wasn't taught in high school. That wasn't even really taught in college. And the only things that I do know is by attending like my open enrollments through work, and just things that I've done on my own through books and attending classes and meeting with financial advisors to educate myself on how investing works, how money works overall, so that way the money that I am bringing in, I'm doing the absolute best with it. So financial education and being financially literate is so important. If you're the type of person where you don't feel like you have the time to sit down and read an actual book, if you're like me, I spend sometimes 1 to 2, maybe 3 hours in my car a day, depending on if I'm going to and from work and running errands. So I love ebooks for that reason. So being able to download a book and play it through your car speakers and listen and educate yourself on something while you're having to sit in traffic anyways can be a great alternative to physically having to sit down in a quiet spot and read. I know if you're a parent, that probably can be really difficult. And me not being a parent, it still can be challenging at times. So whether it's sitting in a bath, reading a book, or doing an ebook in your car, make time to educate yourself on how money works, because that's really going to benefit you long term and how you spend your income wisely. And then the last way that we save large portions of our income is probably the biggest thing that we've done, the most impactful, and will be going forward for the rest of our life, is doing the dreaded budget. And I say dreaded, it's something now that we look forward to, because every pay period we're like, okay, what are we going to do with this income? What goals are we going to hit? What things are we going to knock off? Stuff like that. So for us, doing a budget is kind of in a weird way exciting, because we know we've got money coming in and we try to figure out how we're going to best allocate that money into our savings goals and things like that. So once you get into a certain position where you can pay down your debts, minimize your expenses, and you have income coming in, then you can start saving towards the savings goals, whether it's retirement or saving for that vacation or saving for a big chunk on a car or something like that. Whatever your goals are, that's part of the reward of doing a budget and telling your money where to go. So we haven't always done that. When we first got married, man, I look back, I tell my husband this all the time. We didn't really start budgeting together until we were probably 26-ish. We're 31 and 32 now. And we got married when we were 19. So I told him, I said, man, if I had known what I know now back when we first got married in the first 5 years, we would have been so much further along. But you can't dwell on the past. I can't go back and change it. But what I can do is make sure that going forward, every single month we have a budget in place. We know exactly how we're going to spend our income and our expenses and things like that. So definitely doing a budget is going to be crucial in your ability to save large portions of your income, because it's like a report card for adults. Kids, they bring home the report card to see how they're doing in their classes. This is sort of a report card and accountability card of how you spend your money. So if you're aware of how you're spending your money, you're more likely to do better with the money that you're bringing in. If you're unaware, that's where you're looking at going, where did that money go? And that's how it starts to fall through the cracks or fall through your fingertips, whatever you want to call it, the phrase for that. But that's where I find the people, it doesn't matter how much you make. If you make 40 grand a year or $400,000 a year, if you're sloppy with your money, you're not going to be able to do anything with it. I have met, in my line of work, I've met with attorneys, I've met with doctors, I've met with engineers who make triple, six-figure incomes. Excuse me. And one guy was an attorney. He made like $170-something thousand a year, just him alone. And he had overdraft after overdraft in his checking account. He had loans out the wazoo. He had no money in retirement. He had no money in savings. And I'm going, how can you be making six figures, near almost $200,000, and he has nothing to show for it? All he has is student loans, a fancy car with a loan payment out the wazoo, renting, and overdraft after overdraft. You would think, how is that possible? But I'm telling you guys out there watching, from my experience talking with people out there, and I'm not being judgmental to him, because that's normal in most American cultures nowadays, is that's how we do our money. But for us, that's never going to give him the ability to save large chunks of money the way he's currently doing it. So he needs to be on a budget. The family that's making $40,000 a year needs to be on a budget, and everybody in between, below or above, needs to be on a budget. That is so, so crucial. So if you don't know what to do about going for a budget, go to everydollar.com. It's a free resource. I know mint.com has a budgeting software. You can do it on a yellow pad. Literally write out income, fill in your income sources at the top, and start listing out every expense that you have. That's fine for the short term, but I will tell you that the more you want to do it, the more you want to fine tune to make sure you're not forgetting anything that pops up, like birthdays and toll charges and things like that that you might not typically budget for. So use software, use forms. There's so many printable forms online that are free. Find something that works for you and stick to it every single month. And I promise you, as the years go on, it will start to pay off. It definitely has for us. Like I said, we've been doing it not even 10 years, and I'm just amazed at how impactful doing a budget has been towards our savings, towards our communication about money. We don't fight about money anymore because we're both on the same page with how we're spending it. And it's not to necessarily be restrictive. So we still spend money on things, but we budget for it. We make sure that the money's there to spend. And if we don't have the money, we don't go spend it. It's that simple. So I hope you enjoyed this video. On our 5 ways in which we save large chunks of our income. Those of you watching, if you have additional tips, please leave a comment below and share those with me and everybody else watching, because I'm always looking for ways, even if it's weird ways that you save large chunks of money, share it with us. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. That'd mean a lot, and be sure to subscribe for future videos on all things money. Thanks so much, and y'all have a great weekend. Bye-bye.